here from My Perfect Failure, helping you turn your failures into successes and your setbacks into opportunities. But what if every time you shop, you could help close the racial wealth gap? That's exactly what my guest, Matthew Addai, is making possible. After losing his hedge fund job, Matthew took a step back and asked himself, how can I create real impact? His answer was Cash Black, a platform that rewards people for supporting Black-owned businesses. In this episode, we dive deep into his journey from finance to social entrepreneurship to the power of economic activism and the challenges of building a groundbreaking tech platform. Plus, hear how he's already partnered with brands like Amazon, eBay and Uber Eats, and why he has his sights set on the US expansion just in time for the 2028 Olympics. So don't miss this episode.
Who knows what Jay-Z, J.K. Rowling, Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey all have in common? Okay, I will tell you then. They have all overcome failure in one shape or form to go on to gain success in their respective careers. Welcome to My Perfect Failure. Join us as we delve into the world of our perfect failures. We will interview, explore, and discuss how our perfect failures can lead us to success. Join us and tune in.
Welcome to another episode of My Perfect Failure. Today, I'm super excited because I have another amazing guest for you. So today, I'm joined by a visionary social entrepreneur and co-founder of Cash Black and Afrofiliate. Through Cash Black, he provides cashback rewards for consumers who support Black-owned businesses online, while Afrofiliate connects with these businesses with affiliates to help drive growth and brand visibility. With a background as a senior trader in finance and an MSc in his field, he launched these impactful ventures with his brothers, inspired by the 2020 global movement for racial equity. Together, they're bridging the racial wealth divide and empowering minority-owned businesses through financial incentives and increased visibility. So a very warm welcome to My Perfect Failure, Matthew Addai. How are you, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. Paul, yourself?
Excellent. All the better for speaking to you today, particularly in terms of what you're doing. We have spoken before, and I love the vision of Cash Black and Afrofiliate. And obviously, you've got a very sort of inspiring story in terms of your journey. And it's obviously not been a linear journey. So it's not been like a smooth journey. And I think that is pretty common for entrepreneurs. I don't think it's ever a smooth journey. So I think that you'll probably be able to answer this better than me because of the challenges invariably that good causes and good ideas have. I think that you have to have a great purpose behind a vision for us to navigate those challenges. But where it'd be wonderful to start is your background. How did you come up with the idea of Cash Black?
So, going back to, I think, 2019, I was made redundant from my most previous role, where I was a senior trader for a hedge fund that bet on sports. And I took basically a year out to work for myself, doing the same thing I was doing back at work, just trading for myself, knowing that I'd be able to, having saved enough money to have the capital to do whatever I wanted to, work-wise for myself for the foreseeable future, hopefully with the idea of doing something more entrepreneurial and sustainable going forward. And then at the start of 2020, I decided to take a bit of a sabbatical to try and achieve that. Engage in autodidacticism to just give myself a better idea of learning all the things I didn't learn about in school, just exploratory journey of macroeconomics, global politics, very much trying to give myself a better understanding of how the world works. And halfway through 2020 with the whole global pandemic, the global recession, and of course the global anti-racism movement, feel like myself as well as the rest of the world got a better idea of exactly how the world works. And as I'd already been researching why things were how they were with regards to like racism and its impact on the global south and like minorities, I felt that whatever I was looking to do should have some sort of a purpose and not just be capitalistic. And so obviously we saw all of the different statistics being purported in the media around that time about the lack of support for Black-owned businesses, the socioeconomic impacts on like Black communities around the world. And I felt that there was a direct correlation between those two. And I thought that a good way to try and fix these systemic injustices would be to try and find a way to incentivize patronage in Black-owned businesses by having the Black-owned businesses reinvest back into the patrons. So just like riffing ideas, my brothers and I, so many people were doing in 2020, trying to find something, be it a side hustle or main hustle to do, thought to ourselves, how about a cashback platform, for Black-owned businesses? Why don't we call it Cash Black? And then what started off as a play on words is, now our tech company.
Amazing. So, and just for everybody listening, so you started this with two of your brothers, is that correct?
Yes, correct. Me and my two younger brothers.
Okay. What's that like, that process of, when did it become, was there a moment where you kind of had the discussion just around what was going on in 2020? You know, the equality has always been there, but because of various things that were going on, it clearly came to the fore. Was there a moment where you were having these discussions, then all of a sudden you were like, we need to do a business here?
I don't think there was a specific moment as such where it was like, we have to do something. It was more, it was somewhat reactionary to everybody else wanting to look like they're doing something. Like, I'm sure like we all remember Black Square Summer, where the major brands were posting black squares on Instagram, and saw similar with like other major organizations who were doing things with regards to supporting Black-owned businesses or just Black people in general, many of whom have walked back on that recently, obviously with the massive pushback on DEI for 2025. And so I felt that, talk is very, very, very cheap, even cheaper now as I realize it looking back. And that we could do something. Okay. I already wanted to do something like work-wise anyway around the time, and it just seemed like it kind of came together. So it wasn't necessarily a specific conversation where we thought, let's 100% do this. We were just obviously being at home around the time, 2020, when everyone else was like at home as well, just like normal conversations. I grew into it. And obviously I'd already had my background of that year learning about all those statistics, which then became reaffirmed to me later on. So it was just like constant regurgitation of like all the negative media, negative information I'd been taking, and just like watching way too much CNN during that whole summer. That sort of came to the conclusion that there's probably more I can do than just be annoyed about it or just attend protests about it and then come home and just go about my life as normal. No, I want to make an actual tangible difference, and that's where it came from.
I think very often everyone has an opinion. We sit down with, there might be people in the living room with us, we're watching TV and we have an opinion about something, but very often, the majority of the time, we don't do anything with it. But our focus and maybe our position around that situation is quite impactful and quite direct. We don't do anything with it, but you and your brothers chose to actually, there's something we see a problem, there's something we can do, we've got enough brains here amongst the three of us, why don't we just do it? So the people that want to get a better understanding of Cash Black in terms of how it works and what it does, can you maybe give us a little bit of a steer in terms of, I guess, operationally how it works? If you're a Black business, how do they engage the platform?
Of course. So as a business, we work with affiliate networks. Affiliate networks basically connect businesses with affiliates like Cash Black or like influencers or blogs or etc. And we realized that, rather than just working with affiliate networks. The majority of the businesses with whom we want to work, they're going to be small, medium enterprises who aren't going to be able to afford to join these major affiliate networks. So why don't we just set up our own? That can't be too difficult. And naturally, it was quite difficult. So 2-3 years later, we formed Afrofiliate. And through that, that's where the Black-owned businesses join our affiliate network, where they can be connected with content creators, media houses, and tech publishers like Cash Black, who will be able to basically drive traffic to them in exchange for affiliate commissions. And so Black-owned businesses, they join Cash Black through Afrofiliate. And when sales are generated for them, they pay us affiliate commissions, with which we share with the customer of theirs through Cash Black as a Cash Black reward. So that's how the business journey goes. User journey is basically you register, browse the Black-owned products and services for us through the hundreds of brands we have on boards, including marketplace partnerships we have with the likes of Amazon, eBay, and Etsy to host all of their independent Black vendors and creators on our platform, and also with Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Just Eat, with whom we host all of the Black-owned food vendors, grocery stores, and takeaway providers, where you'll be able to browse, make purchases. And then once you've made your purchase, you'll earn cash back from those affiliate commissions I mentioned from the retailers. Pay it to you, where you can withdraw it for yourself to your bank or PayPal or whatever, or should you donate to one of our affiliated goodwill causes, we match those donations 100%.
Wow. You guys, so it seems, wow, you guys have been busy because there's a lot. So you've piped a lot of clever ideas together into the platform, into the ecosystem. So it's like an ecosystem where everybody can benefit. So the business benefits, in terms of the Black-owned businesses benefits, you connected with global platforms like Amazon, Etsy, and then you've got the consumer, specifically the Black consumer, could actually invest in Black. They're incentivized to invest in Black-owned businesses. So the question that comes to mind, because I'm really impressed in terms of what you've done.
Thank you.
And your brothers, because there's so much that you've just reeled off, and I'm sure there's much more. Obviously, we can't condense 5 years work into a snippet of a conversation. But in terms of what you guys have done, it's phenomenal to this point. How have you and your brothers gone about, creating, the framework that you've created? Has that been trial and error to get to the point you've worked out what's worked, what hasn't worked? What's that been like?
Yeah, that's been difficult. That's been, obviously, over the past 5 years or so, that's been our biggest pain point, just getting things to work on the technical level, just because I'm a non-technical founder. My youngest brother, CTO, but he's literally just come out of university. So for the first 4 years of the project, he was like part-time, meaning that we've had to outsource our development work to different development teams, varying degrees of success, to put that very lightly. So yeah, framework's been difficult, and it's been, I suppose, the one big takeaway of it is that we've learned a lot, but I would have much rather just known this. I don't know how, it's hard to quantify the value in what we've learned versus the time in which it's taken us to learn it. Because I know if I was to start it again tomorrow, we'd be up and running months after inception of the idea rather than years afterwards, just because of the technical hurdles we've had to overcome. And also just because we have so many just cool ideas, if I do so myself, of what we're like trying to build, what we're looking to build and everything. And just trying to do all of that at the same time has just meant our respective roadmaps for certain things have just got longer and longer and longer. As they get longer, they get more expensive. So yeah, framework wise, it's been somewhat all over the place, but it's not without a really, really, really like good end product at the end of this journey. So yeah, as difficult as it's been, we're pretty confident that we do really have something here.
Yeah, it must be. I know what it's like, well, not to your degree, but when we have ideas, it's almost like, well, is this an idea for now? Is this like they have this saying, does it make the boat go quicker now? Or is this an idea maybe for 18 months time, or maybe, is this part of that we need right now? And I guess you and your brothers will ultimately decide what is mission critical now and what's not. So you've got Black owner businesses and you've got Black consumers. So how have you approached trying to engage Black-owned businesses? What's that been like? Because everybody's busy like you. So what's that been like trying to speak to those guys and telling them about Cash Black and maybe the consumers as well? Because and obviously you've done an amazing job with Etsy and Amazon, phenomenal getting them on board.
It's been difficult, I can't lie. When we started, I thought that was going to be the easiest part of it because off the back of everything that happened in 2020, with the global anti-racism movement, I naturally assumed that everyone's going to keep this energy forever. So it doesn't matter if we go live now or tomorrow, years from now. Everyone's always going to be as active as they are with regard to decreasing the racial wealth gap or destroying systemic racism, etc. And I thought it was going to be very much smooth sailing in terms of getting Black-owned businesses on board or getting just consumers on board, members on board, etc. Thinking that everyone will still have their fists in the air as high as we do. Nah, that's not really been the case at all. As one can imagine, the energy is difficult to keep for so long for varying reasons. Obviously, everyone's busy. It's not that deep to some people, and just the lack of education means that we're having to just really work on outreach and really trying to get across our value proposition to everyone. So, that's been one of the harder parts about it. We've worked hard in reaching them first and foremost. Since 2020, the amount of different networking events, trade shows, conferences, specifically targeting Black-owned businesses all over the country, from up north as Leeds and Huddersfield, Manchester, Liverpool, etc., down to obviously London and everywhere in between. There's been loads and loads and loads of outreach work where it's always been received well. We're lucky that not even just with Black-owned businesses or the Black community, with allies, other racial demographics, everyone loves the idea. So I always get good feedback, great positive feedback, and no one has anything negative to say. 99 out of 100 people would just love the idea immediately. So that hasn't been the issue. It's just converting that, that's a great idea, to, this is a great app on my phone, or this is a great platform that I use every day, or I can't wait to generate sales through Cash Black if it's a business. That is, I suppose, the disconnect. So it would have been easier around the times of, racial disharmony or racial trauma, because a lot of the feelings that Black British people in particular have towards racism are somewhat reactionary. It's only off the back of when something really bad happens, unfortunately. And you could argue that right now we're not going through the best of times again, obviously, with everything that's happening in America, with the war on wokeism and that. We're getting closer and closer to that 2020 time where people are going to start remembering, racism exists and racism is bad, and Black lives do matter. So we just always need to keep our fists in the air for the time when people do come back around, and just maintain that same energy and consistency with everything we do.
To me, it almost should be that, but also, there's benefits to using Cash Black and Afrofiliate. So it's, even for selfish reasons, it's if you're business, if you're Black-owned business even, you're almost creating an ecosystem for them where they can have this more engaged relationship with the Black community via your platform. And I know what it's like trying to get people to, because I work with psychologists, so I know that sometimes what people say they like and their actions don't always go hand in hand. So when somebody says they might like red, they might go and buy a blue t-shirt or a blue car. So it doesn't always marry exactly. So people don't always do what they say they're going to do. But I think in terms of what you guys have done today is pretty phenomenal. But it's just, I guess, doing what you're doing, having those conversations. When we spoke before, we mentioned a little bit around, because I think the idea of what you've got, I think councils, governments, because of the challenges that Black communities and diverse communities have, just in terms of deprivation, a lack of opportunity, this feels to me like something that they should be engaging with as well, because you're almost helping them do their job, because you're giving Black-owned businesses a bit of a step up, just in terms of a platform where they get better exposure. They're creating a situation where Black consumers can engage with, so Black-owned businesses can engage with consumers. Have you had any engagement with, I know, councils, MPs, governments, anything like that?
Yeah. We're blessed to have, actually. Most recently, we've been in talks with, I can't really say exactly who yet, publicly. It will hopefully come out in the next few weeks. One London Borough, with regard to a pilot of our next big innovation, should be Cash Black Brick and Mortar, where in essence you'll be able to register your credit or debit cards with Cash Black, and then through that you'll be able to earn cash back offline as you would do online, with the array of Black-owned barbershops, beauty salons, grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants, bars, etc. And most importantly, our soon-to-be regular pop-up marketplace events. So you basically use your card to shop with them online, and then you're able to earn cash back directly to your card the same way you would do like on the Cash Black platform. So we've been in talks with the London Borough for a pilot of that, hopefully for Q2. So within the next couple of months, we're looking to have that go live. And then, once we know that, this definitely works with them, we'll be discussing it with other local councils around the United Kingdom. More important than that, in terms of our long-term ambitions, we've been back and forth to America for trade missions, most specifically California, where we've had similar conversations with the Mayor of Los Angeles office about different things we can do there, and Cash Black Brick and Mortar being an absolute no-brainer because of the density and Black neighborhoods, Black populations for Black-owned businesses, where like Inglewood, one which has been mooted so far, where we could effectively pilot it there, and where we know that there's a far higher concentration of Black people, Black-owned businesses, where it just makes loads of sense. So hoping to have that ready to go and live before 2028, the LA Olympics. So in terms of speaking to different councils, boroughs, and we're always open to it. We're only really limited by our manpower right now, not by our ambition at all. Literally just the resources and just the three of us doing it. But we're in talks with everyone. People approach us all the time about stuff. We have a dangerous habit of saying, we'd love to, and then working out exactly, all right, cool, how we actually make this work afterwards. We're more than happy to do that. When once Cash Black Brick and Mortar is up and running, we'll just look to expedite the process of having that done around the country before taking it to its ideal destination of America.
I know what you mean. When you have those, you agree to something, and then 5 minutes or maybe 20 minutes before the meeting, you think, I'm not sure how this is going to work. But is it too late to cancel, or do I just have to meet and then see if there's anything that can work? I know
how it works for this is we were basically having conversations about, okay, cool, well, what can you really do for us, the this particular borough? And I was like, we have and then we went into Cash Black Brick and Mortars, and they're like, okay, cool, we love the idea. When are you looking to go live? And they're like, now we actually need to incorporate open banking technology into the platform, which requires huge rebuild of the website and the app and everything, and just making sure everything is ready to go live by when we said, just so they're not just calling our bluff for calling our bluff's sake. But that pressure is it's good, because we're always up for the challenge, and we're under no illusions of exactly what we're doing here or for what we signed up. So we just pretty much just go over it.
Yeah, totally. Well, impressive what you've done today. So just going back to what you said a second ago. So if you guys created, or are you creating a credit card?
No, not a credit card as such. We could do. We're veering dangerously close to going the full fintech route anyway, but it's easier for us, at least for now, to just incorporate open banking technology, where you have your credit card, you have your debit cards, you register it with Cash Black, so that if you use your credit card at any of the Black-owned businesses on the platform at their real life locations, you earn cash back the same way you would do on the platform. If we were to go down, it's not an impossibility for us to do it. We've had discussions with MasterCards about similar things, but it's just, do people really want that? Like another credit card, like something exclusive to that? It's great for the vanity purposes. Like, I mean, I have a card which I can use Cash Black and that. It's not as, I don't think it'll be as useful for, rather than just incorporating open banking technology and then making sure that your user journey between where you are now and the Black-owned business with whom you shop is somewhat frictionless. So I'd be much more content, and I'd probably sleep a bit better at night knowing that it's just that we'll be taking rather than going full-blown card route.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I'm just thinking in terms of resource now, it probably makes sense of doing what you're doing now. So just for clarity, so using open banking, so people can register their card with Cash Black. So if they shop in one of the Black-owned businesses that are on your platform, they will, so for every purchase they make, they receive discount.
Yeah, that's correct. Not built yet. That will hopefully be done within the next time. I'm being put on the spot here. 2 months, maybe 2-3 months.
So soon. So
yeah. Hopefully. This is come about really quickly because, like I said, when we're talking with that particular London borough, it was just something which was on our roadmap. Like, I had this big whiteboard when I first started Cash Black and put loads of just huge ideas, and slowly but surely we're accomplishing all of them. And every now and then we look back and it's like, oh wow, we're actually doing that now. And so we're up to this Cash Black Brick and Mortar thing we're doing, and yeah, we're maybe a few months away from actually launching it. It does require a bit of work in regard to rebuilding the platform from scratch, unfortunately, just to ensure that we're able to just correctly integrate the API into it so that you can just connect your bank accounts, and then when you use the cards associated with those accounts, you're able to earn your cash back when you spend money at one of the businesses on the platform. And also this means that we're having to redo or restart our whole outreach thing, because obviously we have around 800 Black-owned businesses in the UK, which are pretty much all e-commerce, around 100 in America, with like a waiting list of like thousands upon thousands.
So you've got a wait list as well?
Yeah, a huge wait list. But the issue with that is, like, e-commerce is easy for us. That's just like Shopify, WooCommerce, Wix, Squarespace. Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, all of a sudden, with the whole Cash Black Brick and Mortar thing, we're going to have to reach out to these businesses who have like real life locations. So, I mean, it's difficult as it might be for some people to like order from a Caribbean restaurant, that whole, we now have that stereotype. We're having to then go and make sales calls to them about, oh, do you want to be on Cash Black? Oh, no, it doesn't actually cost you anything. It's just like, if you have, it's having to go through all of that. It's difficult enough to land people over email. I think it's nigh on impossible to land, because a lot of it is cold. If I don't run into them organically at one of the many events we frequent, or I'm not intro to them, then we're just having to just do the pitch into them, just explain the benefits, explaining how it works and everything, to like e-commerce platforms who should be way more au fait with how this all works. And so having to do that with, just like barbershops, beauty salons, like Black-owned convenience stores in real life, which might also necessitate us having to like physically go there up and down the country to get all of them on board. It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
Loads of time. It's not the easiest part of it at all, especially because it's not as easily it's not as well received as it used to be. So if this was like peak 2020, doing this would have been it would have been light work. Yeah. Now when things aren't as bad, going around pitching the idea to the same people who I would have landed closed way easier 5 years ago isn't as straightforward, unfortunately. So yeah, it's an insane amount of work for what it is, but again, we know what we're in for.
Yeah. And in some ways, and seems a bit odd saying this, and it's probably not the best answer, but this might be the best route to go in terms of having to do all this work you're doing, because you want people not just to want to engage with a platform when there's a lot of tension and there's a lot of stuff going on, so they're at the height of their frustration, because you don't want them to fall off as soon as the news stops broadcasting riots or demonstrations. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like capturing the early adopters, the people that are into it, because we always, for any business, regardless of whether you're Apple or whether you're Airbnb, we all, all those companies that all need those early adopters, those early champions, and then as we fingers crossed, there's this snowball effect where we're able to engage more and more people. So it's not the best answer because it just means there's more work for you and your brothers, but you're in the trenches, you're doing the work anyway. So, which is a good thing because think about it, you're connecting with councils in the UK and in Inglewood in the States, which is pretty phenomenal. So, just in terms of the brick and mortar scenario, that will be physical stores so that people that have set up for online, so to have added their card to online banking, they can go into the store physically with their credit card, and because they are on your platform and they're in the right store, they'll purchase whatever they want to purchase and they will get their cash back.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It sounds pretty cool when someone returns it back to me, actually. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. Someone should do that.
So with that being said, and this is my hope, so because I think for going back to what we were talking about earlier, if you're a councillor or you're an MP and you're in somewhere like Hackney or you're in Lambeth, I'm just thinking of London boroughs where we've got high population of the black communities. Those would be, if I'm an MP and your brothers rock up and say, this is something we're doing, when for the council that you're, I guess, in talks with, will you be able to do a marketing push on this?
Yeah, we would, and we will. It's just a matter of time. We've already spoken about just like recording locally, just like interviewing different counterparties with whom we were working, obviously the black-owned businesses within that borough. And so that's pretty much the next step. So obviously once we've actually built it, and then we're like, okay, cool, it works. It's kind of ready to go. Now to do the actual marketing push for it, we're gonna have to do some sort of launch event with a huge marketplace with the different brands we have on the platform. And obviously with that, the Cash Black IRL, like in real life marketplace event, members will be able to earn cash back when they shop at the individual vendors there. So that'll be an incentive for customers to join Cash Black, obviously, and then register the card with us, use their card there. And it's a go-to-market strategy for our vendors, because the vendors will only be able to attend, to sell, if they are on Cash Black as well. So all of a sudden, it would have been difficult before to land vendors. I frequent the inboxes, the unread folders of so many black-owned businesses in this country. It's insane.
Really?
Before this, we were talking about, oh, do you know this black-owned business? I was like, yeah, I know them. Yeah, they know me, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going to be a lot easier to land them all once they realize that, oh, okay, cool, I need to go to where the people are. And so it's all about us just, building that community drive for it, creating those events, having those events there for Cash Black, Brick and Mortar, Cash Black IRL or whatever, and just making sure that businesses know that there's an incentive there, a real incentive for the customers, our members, to be able to earn money when they support black-owned businesses.
Yeah, totally. And I'm just thinking around, this is a really exciting initiative. And also I'm thinking around, sometimes I've worked in training, so soft skills training, IT training, those types of things. So we'd sell training to companies. But one of the areas I didn't work on this patch, but one of my colleagues worked on the NHS. And what invariably happened, and I'm hoping this happens for you. So once you've got one, say, Lewisham Trust on board, invariably someone at Lewisham Trust will know somebody at Lambeth Trust or Haringey. So you go and have a meeting with somebody at Lewisham, and they would be, okay, yeah, we're using these guys for this training. And then if that person's speaking to somebody at Lambeth, and they go, his name is XYZ. Okay. And so then you would kind of get this pincer movement. So I'm hoping this happens for you guys. So when you, fingers crossed, you get over the line with this council, you get a bit of PR around that, and then there could be, because other council will want, fingers crossed, they will want to be part. They'll want to be at that party.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That whole network snowball effect is what we're going for. And it's already started. It's like I said, just the three of us trying to work out, okay, cool. We've told them we're going to build it, or rather we told them about it. And now we're telling them, yeah, we're going to build it. Now we actually need to just build it. Because like I said, we're never going to be limited by our ambition. Like the cold Cash Black Brick and Mortar thing, that's huge. That's like, when I think about it, it's actually like as big as all. I haven't even told you about all the other stuff we're doing, and like so I've even skipped past our current cooler stuff we're doing, like with AI and stuff.
Compared with stuff with AI as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's. I'll segue into that real quick. So, alongside Cash Black, the website, the app available on Android and Apple stores, obviously. We have the Cach Black Afro Bot, which is an acronym for Algorithm for Redirection of Black-Owned Traffic. In essence, it's a browser extension which uses artificial intelligence to learn how you shop so that we can redirect you away from your usual big-name multinational brands to our Black-owned retail partners for similar goods and services. So, like, if you're shopping for skincare, you might go to the likes of Boots or the Body Shop or Superdrug or what have you, but land on one of those websites with the Afro Bot installed, and we'll be able to notify you of alternative Black-owned retailers that exist who sell similar, potentially even better products, from whom you can make your purchases and earn cash back on those purchases. So that in itself is arguably cooler than the whole Cash Black Brick and Mortar thing, because it's like AI and stuff, which has very much been like drummed into the general lexicon. Granted, we did come up with that a few years before everyone and their dog was using ChatGPT to do all their work for them. So we have loads and loads and loads of ideas, and this Cash Black Brick and Mortar is just another one which we kind of just need to execute. The only difference with this is just we've only just clocked how huge it could be. Like before, it was just, okay, cool, we're supporting Black-owned businesses online. That's all and good, because there's obviously there's the online e-commerce like side of the space which needs to be supported, but then that left all the offline businesses who need arguably more support, because obviously just like physical locations, foot traffic, it's like difficult to maintain relative to just a Shopify website or whatever. But now we have a way to support all of the offline businesses. So we very much bridged the gap between that. And what we're doing here, if I do this on myself, it is pretty massive, and it's just like a huge undertaking for us, and we just need to be able to execute it, because ideas, they're cheap, they're easy, they're free as far as I'm concerned. I came up with Cash Black, or my brothers and I, we came up with Cash Black off the back of loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of different potential ideas, business-wise, as I'm sure so many people did in 2020. And this has had the most amount of good for the most amount of people, and it just snowballed into so many other cool things we could do, with obviously the Afro Bot being one, Afrofiliate being like another, with that, which I barely even talk about, even though that's arguably the cash cow of the whole operation. And now Cash Black Brick and Mortar, where this could be, it could be used like obviously to benefit Black-owned businesses here, obviously in America, where there's socially and economically and now politically it makes infinitely more sense. And then of course there's loads of Black people and Black-owned businesses in Africa and the Caribbean. It's such an untapped market. We don't even need to use the whole like Black side of it. It's literally just incorporating open banking technology, affiliate marketing, cashback rewards, etc. in those demographics and those geolocations, and we'll blow. It's just a matter of executing it all, because like I said, ambition will be never will be anything that we'll be lacking. Yeah.
So Afrobot, where does that sit? Is that so as an example, is that live at the moment?
Yeah, it's live in the Chrome store.
Chrome store. Okay, yeah. Okay.
We'll be out in the. I think we'll do it same thing for Firefox and Safari within the next few weeks. But we have the UK and the US version live right now.
And where will you promote that? Will you promote that on, I guess, Apple Store? But will you promote it on Cash Black or on your social media so people will become familiar with that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's been live for a bit. Technically, the hard launch was in October for United Kingdom. Hard launch was technically 1st of February for USA. We were supposed to be out in California, but for the wildfires in January, it kind of derailed our plans somewhat. But I mean, we spend so much time building, arguably too much time building, as you can imagine, just from me talking about all the cool stuff we're doing, that we haven't had anywhere near enough time or resources or energy for the actual promotion of all the cool stuff we're doing. Yeah. So we've almost done it backwards. What we really should have done, again, if I was to start this from scratch, go and get the community first and foremost. Build the community, build the following that everyone wants you build from public, from day of inception to day of launch or whatever. Instead, we just built. And now we've built it believing that, oh, it's cool. Everyone believes Black Lives Matter. So yeah, once we build it, they'll come. Energy hasn't been kept the same. So now we've built it, we're going to have to try and build the community off of the back of it, which obviously depending on what's the latest news on TV or what the latest like social issue or cause for people to become upset or angry about, means that our job becomes more difficult, or potentially more easy, unfortunately, as times progress. So yeah, it's in terms of promotion, we very much just need to get our act together and just start marketing. It's all well and good me saying it's all cool and that, but if I'm the only person who knows about it, then of what consequence is it really?
Yeah, I think that's, the challenge for every business. Everybody, would say that their business is a good business, and yours and your brother's clearly is. But I think it's the challenge we all have is getting enough people to know about it, and that's always the challenge. And then when they know about it, if they use it, they want them to use it. We want the feedback, good and bad, because good feedback's amazing, but not so good feedback actually isn't a problem either, because it will help us improve things, improve whatever any critique or feedback is. And so, just conscious of your time, I know you've got meetings and so forth.
Yes, I've got a notification in the background saying that it's been moved forward into the day. So yeah,
okay. So we've got a little bit more time. Okay.
Yeah.
So Afrofiliate, we touched upon that, but the people that want to understand how Afrofiliate works and how it fits into Cash Black, would you mind giving us a quick snippet of how that works? And how that came about actually as well?
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned, Cash Black platforms, they work with affiliate networks who basically do all the tracking of the commissions and conversions between the customers and the tech platforms, the cashback platforms, etc. And so we thought that rather than just getting all of these Black-owned businesses to join the major networks, why don't we just create our own? And obviously, we're thinking that was going to be super easy. Like most things we've done, it really wasn't. So after a few years, we'd finally established Afrofiliate. And Afrofiliate, in short, is our affiliate network that connects Black-owned brands with different content creators, media houses, and just want to be affiliates, so that, in short, Black-owned businesses will be able to convert their loyal customers into economically incentivized brand ambassadors, so that anybody can earn their own passive or active income by supporting Black-owned businesses. And with that, another mini pivot we've done, we realized that there's only so many Black-owned businesses around, and only so many big ones. The majority of whom are obviously going to be small, medium enterprises. And so we needed a way to benefit the growing number of affiliates we have on the platform. Obviously, most of them are Black, or at least diverse affiliates we have on our platform. Many of them just find us organically, particularly from America. They just type in Black Affiliate Network, Afrofiliate comes up, and they're just joining us in droves. And we're just thinking there's only so many Black-owned businesses that they can work with, and only so many who are going to be really paying them for this. So what we started doing as well was better connecting with the major organizations who really want to be able to tap into the 300 billion Black pounds or the $1.6 trillion Black dollar. And so our affiliates through us now, for instance, travel affiliates, will be able to connect them with the likes of Qatar Airways, Virgin Atlantic for flights, likes of Booking.com, Trivago for accommodation promotion, as far as excursion stuff for likes of Viator, or Get Your Guide, so that travel influencers, the travel content creators, are able to earn their living through our connections with those major organizations who want to be able to tap into those diverse, often Black communities, not just with travel, doing the same with influencers, connecting them with major financial institutions, banks, etc., who will pay for those relationships and partnerships with the Black influencers because they know they're connected to the Black community, and like food influencers, if that's even just a word or whatever. Or,
new word, point today.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, I'll happily copyright as I did with Cash Black. So, like food influencers, loads and loads of food content creators, as we know, all over like TikTok, Instagram, etc., connecting them with major FMCG brands who want to be able to tap in to the Black audience through those hyper influential, like upcoming or established food content creators, food critics, etc., and just other major organizations who want to be able to tap into the Black community by way of Black affiliates, either like major influencers or just people with like active, engaged WhatsApp group. We're working as the conduit for all of that through Afrofiliate. So supporting Black-owned businesses, supporting Black affiliates, and just being the like glorified middleman between the culture and the capital.
No, I see how it all sort of pipes together. I'm just thinking about the dynamic between you and your brothers. I was reading something the other day around sometimes the founder was saying actually within his business, he said that I think he was saying that he's the visionary and his partner is the builder, So within your business with you and your brothers, that we've just mentioned about all the different ideas that come before. Is it everybody contributes in a specific way? Is there a visionary? Is there a builder? Or do you have your own different dynamic?
It's a mixture of both. We obviously have our own different dynamics because like we're very different individually speaking. So it's me and my like immediate younger brother Jonathan. He's 4 years younger than me, so we're peers in that regard. So we think very similarly. Nicholas, who is like 13 years younger than me, he's very much he's the Gen Z tech founder, like the technical founder of the three of us. Who
CTO.
He's our CTO, the Gen Z CTO of the three of us. So his thinking is like just different, just because like generationally he's different in that regard, and just like personality wise, we're all different in that sense. So I suppose we come to the table with different ideas. And I, as a CEO and oldest brother, I always need to be hyper cognizant of the fact that I don't actually know anything, contrary to what I like to tell myself. And so, we all come with different things to the table. Like, everything you see here hasn't all been my idea as a visionary at all. I'd love to be able to say it was, and just really double down on my God complex or whatever. But now it's been a massive group effort where we're all able to bring different things, bring different ideas to the table, and just work best on executing it. So when it comes to like certain tech things, Nick, obviously background in technology, it's easier for him to be able to suggest stuff, or basically to poke holes in the stuff that John or myself might be able to suggest. John, as COO, his background in sales, he's like better than me in terms of just like how to go about approaching the different counterparties with whom we work. I'm sure I might have come across slightly aggrieved or bitter about the relationship building we have to do with Black-owned businesses who take forever to get back to us and that. And if I didn't have John to be involved with that, then I'd be burning more bridges than I'm creating. So he's able to come to the table with just the relationship building and maintenance in that. And me, as I'm an ideas guy first and foremost. Like I even in this call right now, I've come up with a few ideas of, actually, we could do that. Or when you mentioned cards, I was like, I'm talking it down now, but maybe I could get back on the phone to MasterCard and then see what I got saying with further complicating our lives with a few more side missions that we really don't need to do. But I mean, I'm somewhat the ideas guy, and as the oldest brother, I know the buck always stops with me, either as oldest brother, as firstborn son, or whatever, as CEO. I'm very much having to steward the whole thing, knowing that it's kind of down to me if this blows or flops. I mean,
It's going to blow. It's going to blow. I'm positive, guys. It's going to blow.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got every faith it does, but I mean, I have to very much own every W or every L I take in my position. So yeah, that's how the three of us fit together, and thankfully it fits really well. People always ask us like, how is it working together? And it's fine. You know, it's never going to be super harmonious all the time, because I mean,
it can't be, can it?
It can't, I mean, especially when, you know, we're still somewhat building, and I'm having to always motivate them to work for free on this, where gainful employment does sound a hell of a lot better than whatever the hell it is that we're doing. So it's always going to be a bit difficult in that regard, but we're blessed that we all have, I mean, there is harmony in the vision of what we're doing, the belief in the purpose and the cause of what we're doing, and obviously like the potential benefits of it, the payoff of what we're doing, either like super, like materialistically, or just like a lot more like, I don't know, altruistically, it's potentially huge. So yeah, so we persevere through it all.
You guys, do you ever take a moment, either independently or with your brothers, to reflect on all the great things you've done thus far? Or you guys just constantly moving that reflection, you just don't have time for it?
Every now and then I have to reflect, because people tell me to a lot. I mean, like for instance, I think the last time I really did a reflection, we got into Startups 100 Index, the most like innovative and disruptive startups in the 100 most innovative and disruptive startups in the United Kingdom. And that was in January, where we all have our like birthdays, John the 4th, Nick 15th, me 27th. So it's like a joint birthday like present for us. And it really gave me a chance to, oh wow, we've actually done a lot here. It really gave me a chance to rethink. We have. So we do. I try not to dwell too much, because it's really, 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 really easy for me to like just rest on laurels, because it's way easier than working. So it's easy for me to just go back and just look for, oh, you've done this, we've done that, we've done this, we've done that. But then I remember that that's all well and good, but I mean, like American Express aren't going to be able to take positive affirmations this month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the Capital One won't allow me to cash in on the likes or views we get on social media. We really need to execute. So as good as this is now, and we should celebrate the small wins as they come, we really need to just like build these into like real tangible wins, so that this is all for more than just plaudits.
There's not enough of you. I'm just having ideas as well. You're giving me ideas. I'm having ideas. So do you ever go into like they talked about councils a bit, and I'm not sure if I can articulate the best type of organization to go into, but I don't know whether it could be, I don't know, colleges or something like that. I can't think of a better organization to go into. So like a college in Hackney or a college in Brixton for, I don't know, youngsters that are probably, you know, at that point where they're starting to be more aware about how they can to start getting a little bit more money, and about how they can use their money. Do you do any work in that space where you're doing any beacon events or stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we're always in talks about it. In fact, even today, I'm supposed to be finishing off our strategic partnership decks that we're supposed to be sending out to major organizations with whom we'll work to deliver workshops and different seminars, webinars to loads of different counterparties, like colleges, schools, like universities. Yeah, it's all on a huge, huge, huge roadmap of stuff that we're doing, because obviously Cash Black is like, the very etymology just suggests that, we are all about financial inclusion for the historically, economically disenfranchised. So it's a no-brainer that it's something that we should be doing. And we're only really limited by our time and resources.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Invitations to do it, and it's just about, all right, okay, cool. If you do all the work, we'll happily turn up, but it has to be somewhat collaborative. And the time that Nick, John, and myself will dedicate to doing that, we'll have to take it away from delivering on this banking thing that we promised to deliver on, or tweaking the like Cach Black Afro Bot so that it can better be trained to deliver better results to our consumers, or just making sure that the app is still working, the website, isn't down, and whatever other side missions we're trying to complete, we'll be able to complete. So that is in fact, even as I say it, that's something we should be leaning more towards, because it's somewhat more revenue generating than just building. Yeah. And also it works as a go-to-market strategy, because if we're out there in public, in real life and everything, we're hyper visible, people more like to on board with us, and we're able to just like better just grow the platform that way. So yeah, I mean, it's things that we really know that we should be doing. One or two, yeah, even we did. In fact, we did do with Hackney CVS financial education for seniors. This was back in November, so we have done it. That was just the one though, and the person with whom the person who introduced, who asked me, I just didn't say no at the time. In retrospect, it was a terrible time for us work-wise, but she just asked me, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It was actually at an event we were doing at Netflix. So it was interesting how it compounded. Like Netflix invited us to do a presentation, and went there, did the whole razzle dazzle, blew the whole crowd away. So I do, like, as it happens, I can boast about it now, because ultimately it doesn't matter. It's just pitching Cash Black to a room full of black people. It's not difficult in that, and they loved it. The person from Hackney CVS loved the idea as well. Invited us to do like a financial education workshop with seniors. So we went and did that, and it just got me to thinking, this is stuff, like you said, we should be doing more, but it's fun. The time to do all the stuff that we want to do.
Yeah. And I'm thinking of when you do that, I'm sure you do this, but obviously it's great for content as well. You've got somebody, and I guess, again, it's time, because 3 of you, so there's one of you go, then you get somebody that, I don't know, takes the pictures, or maybe they've got somebody at the event that can take pictures, do some recording, so it's good for social media and so forth, just to get people engaged. But we do come back to 3 of you, so and you've got a huge roadmap. So it's actually working out, what's the most important thing. So I wrote down mentorship. So do you guys have mentors? Because when I speak to entrepreneurs and founders, not just entrepreneurs and founders, but particularly entrepreneurs and founders and people in business, a lot of them cite mentors that they have, whether there be people in person, or there might be just people that they follow online, that's in their space, that's been on their journey, maybe that's a few, that's just further down the line than them. So do you or your brothers have mentors that you look to for advice or inspiration?
Yeah, we do, but not in the most formal sense in which I utilize them. Like we're blessed to have been on loads of accelerator programs. Thinking order, been on Black Valley, 1,000 Black Voices, Digital Catapult, the Black Business Residency at Somerset House. And is there any more? Actually, I think there's 1 or 2 more. And for all intents and purposes, they might be. But those are the ones which stick out in my head anyway. That's how I bring them up. Through all of those, we've been given like 3 or 4 mentors each. And so we're able to reach out to them, to ask them stuff, and just like to just bounce ideas off of them and everything. So we're lucky to have them. It's just about how we choose to utilize them, and and just the questions of like the applicability of the advice they're giving, or even the questions we're asking, because like everyone has an opinion. And what I found is that over-reliance on it has meant that we often get conflicting pieces of advice in stuff that we're doing, which kind of defeats the purpose of seeking this advice, which means that I ultimately just do what I was going to do anyway. Which, even as I say, I'm like, that's somewhat counterproductive, isn't it? Yeah,
not really. I interviewed Matt Higgins, who was one of the judges on Shark Tank, and sometimes what he was saying to me was something I felt was very interesting. I've heard actually a number of people say this since, but sometimes our intuition is the most important thing. He calls it a gut sandwich. So sometimes, like today we hear a lot of stuff about data, which is very important, but sometimes you just have your intuition. Sometimes, I guess, to his mind and to a lot of people's mind, sometimes we just have our intuitions, just something feels good about an idea we have.
Yeah.
or a point of direction, or maybe that we stop, or maybe we pivot. So sometimes I think that we shouldn't underplay the importance of our intuition, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, because it's my intuition that got me this far anyway, so it wasn't that wrong as far as thus far anyway. Obviously, I'm not too arrogant to believe that I'm not going to benefit from advice from anyone, but it's just about being really, 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 really intentional of the advice that I'm seeking. Otherwise, it's just conversation for conversation's sake, which is always helpful, obviously, because it's always good as a founder to be able to have people with whom you can just discuss whatever, because of how difficult and lonely and just mind-numbingly stressful it can be. So even if not pure business advice, I'm blessed that I've been on these accelerator programs to be able to acquire these mentors with whom I can just talk.
Yeah, totally. I was just thinking about, we are getting towards the end now, but so I think I've got maybe three questions. So what's the biggest challenge that you guys have faced to date?
The biggest challenge, I would say, would be just building. Either building the tech that we use to like run, literally just building the tech, just building the tech that we're trying to run as a business, the platform itself, Cash Black, or building the community off of the back of the tech that we built.
Yeah.
So just the building part, because obviously building tech is a very literal process of being technical founders, or being a non-technical founder, and then trying to navigate the different pitfalls of actually trying to put everything together and just make sure everything just works as it's supposed to. That will always be difficult, and that'll be something which never actually finishes, as far as I'm concerned, because we'll always be rolling. But then we, like I said earlier, we did it very backwards. We didn't build a community at the beginning, what we should have done, because everyone loved the idea, and we should have just onboarded everyone just on the basis of the idea, as opposed to just telling them about the idea and then building it, just updating them and building it, talking about it, building it, and then eventually having built it, at least to extent where it is now, and being like, so where is everyone? Yeah. And so building how we've gone about it, physically doing it, and just the fact that we'll always have to do it, and we had the wrong approach and mindset towards it, has been the biggest pain points, especially with regard to the building the whole community side of it. Onboarding like black-owned businesses will always be a pain point of ours until such a time where we have so much clout and social proof and social capital that they're coming to us in droves. It will always be an issue, a massive personal issue of mine, because it could have been so simple earlier on, like when we first started, when everyone was just on the idea, great, because everyone's fists in the air at the same time. Now, not so much, and expecting people to keep the same energy after 5 years has been like laughable in retrospect. So yeah, in terms of like building tech, building the community, building the list of retailers with whom we actually need to make this work, yeah, that's been the hardest part.
To be honest, again, I go back to what we discussed earlier. We all want things to be incredibly easy. I know that I do, but actually, I think that the way that you guys are building, I think you're building proper infrastructure to underpin your business, which means that once the energy of 2020 subsided, it meant that people, went back to what they were doing, their day jobs and their family lives and whatnot. So I just think that, because the energy isn't there, you guys have just, okay, let's really think about what Cash Black is, purpose is. Let's bring in Afrofiliate and all these things. And I think it's really, engaging with councils, engaging with the city of Inglewood. So I just think that you've got a more solid and robust proposition. Thanks. And I think that as we're talking now, you've got all these wonderful ideas, and it's when you guys really hit that kind of gust of, when everything blows, which it and I think it will be. I think that you guys will sit back with a glass of wine or whatever you do and think, actually, I'm far happier, although it's been far more stressful. than we wanted. Actually, the work that we've done now has really give us a solid footing. We've got the infrastructure and the business that's more robust. If we just went off the energy of 2020, we'd have had a business that, if you put a pin in it, it might have popped because you may have not put all the infrastructure and all the hard work that you guys have put in.
Yeah.
Okay, so three questions. So the third question before we go is I know that we talked previously about, you guys mentioned that you're not tech people. You're not, tech isn't your background, but some of the challenges you've had with some of the people you've contracted to help with with the infrastructure. I don't know whether you can expand on that a little bit.
Yeah. We've just started with development team number 6 now. So 6 dev teams in just under 5 years. Yeah. Had I known then what I know now, dev team 1 was just like the 3 of us. Nick, he literally put the site together. So Nick put the site together in maybe a day, showed it to me. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. That's it. I mean, the Cash Black, I just need to register the domain name and then we're good to go. But apparently it's not as simple as a straightforward WordPress or Shopify site. So we realized we'd have to go elsewhere. Went with development team number 2, who were a team we found who were able to give us like the white label solution, just to make sure it's Cash Black, but literally it's a Cash Black website. You just put your name and logo on top of it and then you're good to go. We did that. We realized now this isn't enough. We want loads of stuff added. We want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. Just give us the price and we'll pay for it. And we never came to any agreement of how we were able to do it. So the money we did pay, we didn't really do anything with that site. And so we were like, okay, cool. So development team 1 was us, development team number 2 didn't work out with them. So we'll move on to finding someone else to do development team number 3. Relative or a friend of mine, he said that we can build all of that. We can build the Cash Black platform for you. I'm more than happy to. It'll cost X amount, which was a lot of money at the time for us. And it was like, okay, cool, fair enough. Because I mean, this is like a family member or a good friend of mine. Surely he's not gonna like screw us over all. And it's obviously a few months into it. Like, so how's that platform that you're building for us? And he's like, what platform? Almost. So realized that okay, cool. So the contract we signed isn't worth the paper or PDF it was written on.
Had you paid them any money?
Yeah, paid them all the money. And it's an occupational hazard getting screwed over in tech, apparently. So we realized that, okay, cool. I mean, even if we were to take him to court over it, he could just file bankruptcy and just open up shop again. So it will cost us more chasing it than it would gaining anything from it. So just charged it to the game, took the L, started again looking for development team number 4, who were actually development team number 2. But now we're going to go through the whole custom builds. Well, going to be the website, the iPhone app, the Android app, and what would later become the Cash Black Afro Bot. And so we're more happy to do this. We paid half of the money to get started and things were going so well, so well. I was like, oh, right, this has actually come together. Like, I'm actually seeing it all just start come together in front of my eyes. And I think around maybe the April of I think it was 2021 at the time. No, April 2022, I believe. He basically came back to us saying, Matt, would you be able to pay the rest of the deposit, the rest of the fee, like the second 50%? Like, it's almost done anyway, but this is just so our end of year accounts look a bit better. And I was like, yeah, we're almost nearly done anyway. So here's the rest of the money, and let's get this done so we can get things going. And a couple of weeks went by, a bit of radio silence. Months turned into serious radio silence, knowing that we're going to try and launch it by October, Black History Month, the same way we tried to the year before and the year before that. So now it's our 3rd Black History Month since we launched with 2020, 2021. And now 2022, we're like, guys, where's the platform? Eventually, they came back to us saying, sorry, Matt, we basically ran out of resources to be able to complete your project, but we found this other development team in Pakistan who will be able to finish what we started. They'll work for you for free for 10 hours. And then after that, whatever happens. So all the best. Goodbye. And that was the last.
How can they do that?
I mean, if you want to take them to court for me, by all means, everything is signed. So, I mean, it's just, like I said, occupational hazard. It happened. Money was gone. Again, So development team number 4 screwed us over, similar to development team number 3, and we're now minus 2 sets of life savings. And we had this team in Pakistan who said, well, yeah, I suppose we can finish it for you. They took a look under the hood and were like, nah, we need to do a whole rebuild. And this isn't going to be custom either. It's going to have to be white label. So we're going to give you a cashback website. You're basically going to put it into blackface. And this will also cost you X amount. So yeah, take it or leave it. Obviously, we had to take it because, you know, we charged so much to the game already. Sunk cost fallacy was doing a number on me. And I didn't come all that way to just let it flop at all. So it's just like, whatever. I mean, if we can get it done by Black History Month, which is like a month away, because I was told, yeah, we'll get this done in maybe, well, no, it was 2 months away. We'll get it done in 10 weeks. 10 weeks turned into 10 months. So we completely missed 2022 launch. And then eventually, dev team number 5, who that was, were able to finish it. And we were able to soft launch Cash Black on the 1st of October 2023, which was all well and good because we had the product finally in market after at least 3 years of just building to the point where it was where we was now. But because of the fact that it's still white label and there's still a team in Pakistan with whom they could just be like, you know what, guys, I want to screw you over just for the sake of screwing you over. So we're going to pull the plug and press delete, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not saying that they would do that, but nothing stopping it. I've already been through occupational hazards and had to, like I said, charge so much to the game and just firm it and just say to myself, it is what it is. Do the whole ball up top thing and start again. So now where we went on to from it being live 2023, in 2024, we decided, okay, cool. If we're going to be doing all of this Cash Black brick and mortar stuff, a fully intuitive Cash Black Afro Bot, we're going to need to have what would be Dev Team 6 to be us, pretty much in-house, getting developers to build what we said we were going to build back in 2020 for 2025. And so we've basically done that, which is like a new set of life savings. This is all bootstrap, by the way. We haven't had
I was going to ask you, so you're bootstrapped?
Yeah, we'd be looking for money in the worst time in the history of money to be looking for money. So every penny that you see across the whole thing has been ours. Working full time on a job that doesn't pay you is difficult at best, nonsensical at worst, and that's literally what I'd have to be living through for it. But we know that with what we have now, with what we've coined as Dev Team 6, God willing, will be done by the middle of 2025. So by then, we should have fully complete, beyond MVP version of the Cash Black website, Cash Black mobile apps, Cash Black Afro Bot, all working with Cash Black brick and mortar. So, yeah, I mean, it's been difficult, really difficult. First time I've actually gone through it like that in a while. I get taken for an idiot quite a bit by tech people, don't I? Like, oh wow, this doesn't come across anywhere near as cool as I thought it did a few years ago. Now it's been hard. Like I said, it's an occupational hazard of being a non-technical founder. You kind of just have to go through that unless you build it yourself. And it's funny because now in 2025, the amount of AI tools which exist where you can probably build Cash Black in the space of months using just what you pay for your internet or maybe a subscription with different AI chatbots, as opposed to multiple sets of life savings, 5 years, and taking probably more than 5 years off my potential life expectancy from stress over this whole nonsense. I definitely could have done it a lot easier in retrospect, but I mean, I wouldn't have learned as much and I wouldn't have read as many funny anecdotes to share about it, I suppose. So, I mean, it very much just charge it to the game. It is what it is, etc. It very much has been what it has been.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about mentor. So for somebody that you mentor even, that maybe needs developers, they would be very lucky. They could come to you and you could give them all the red flags, all the warning signs.
Honestly,
it'd be nice if you had that.
I'll tell them right now, do you know what I mean? Over the past few years, AI has become such a thing where during the course of this podcast, someone could have built out an AfroBot replica or an app replica or website. That's without over-exaggerating. Mm-hmm. So, right now, if I had to start it all again, I would start it all again myself because it's so much easier. The barriers to entry are a lot lower. Mm-hmm. than it was. Like I said, the Afro Bot, we started like conception of it 2020, 2021, way before AI was just everywhere. So now it's just like, oh yeah, I mean, we use AI. It's like, yeah, so does everybody else we've spoken to this month. So yeah, I mean, if I was to do that whole like mentorship thing, I just told them, well, if you really don't like the sound of gainful employment with a full-time salary, then yeah, by all means build, but for God's sake, build it yourself, because you really can. There's so few barriers to entry now than when we started it.
Yeah. Okay. So for people that want to know how they can get access to Cash Black and Afrofiliate, what's the best way for people to get access to your platform, sign up, whether you're business or whether you're a consumer that just wants to get engaged the platforms?
Cool. Everything just is Googleable. We're lucky that if you were to type in Black owned Cash Black website or Black owned affiliate network, we're number one. So such as the strength of our SEO. But yeah, for Cash Black as a consumer, cashblack.com. I paid so much for the domain name that I really need to make a bigger song and dance of it as much as possible. But yeah, cashblack.com, where you'll literally get paid to purchase from Black-owned businesses, and afrofiliate.com, where you'll be able to, as a Black-owned business, convert your loyal customers into economically incentivized brand ambassadors and have your brand boosted by content creators and media houses to help your business grow. Or as just an everyday ordinary civilian registering Afrofiliate, you can become an affiliate for major organizations or Black-owned businesses who want to be able to tap into your network. So yeah, both of them are very Googleable, Cash Black or Afrofiliate. So find us on social media, Cash Black HQ. Unfortunately, if I can get Cash Black as the social media handle, I will, but yeah, across all social media, Cash Black HQ and Afrofiliate across all social media as well for Afrofiliate.
Okay, perfect. Well, I can get all the links anyway, put those in the show notes. Very easy for people to access and use. Hopefully if you're a business owner, you're listening to this, watching this, you're a Black-owned business, do register with Cash Black. And I think this is the last question, recurring question. So if you could invite 2 inspirational people for dinner, they can be alive or past, who might you invite?
3 inspirational people to dinner. It would be my 2 granddads and my dad's mum. So yeah, 3 out of my 4 grandparents. The reason I said 3 out of my 4 because my mum's mum, I had more of a relationship with her because she was alive longer, and she was able to visit us here from Ghana. In England, like I remember even as like one of my earliest memories, her coming here, like babysitting me when like my parents were at work, and I used to hate it because I was being firstborn, just like being spoiled by my mum and dad, always just being there and that. So I specifically remember spending time with her, but yeah, I didn't spend too much time with my dad's mum, who passed away before my mum's mum, and I've never met my 2 grandfathers. So yeah, growing up, I was always like very aware of the fact that everyone else had, like, it seemed like all my other friends, they had relationships with their grandparents. It seemed like they were either just like within like commutable distance for them, so like they were just easy to speak to or reach or whatever, and like failing that, they were just like still with us. Like I never had a relationship with my grandfathers. I didn't have as long a relationship with my dad's mom or even my mum's mum in that regard. So yeah, those 3 just I suppose for the sake of my grandfathers, just to meet them first and foremost, because yeah, I haven't had that luxury, and just like with those 3, I suppose just to show them what their grandsons like have been able to accomplish thus far, and God willing, what we'll be able to do in the future.
Absolutely. That's absolutely across the globe, UK, London to LA to Africa. So you're touching all parts of the world. So Matthew, it's been great meeting you again, having this conversation. Love what you and your brothers are doing. And it's for the purpose, I think, that underpins what you're doing, I think is the key to this. I think and the benefits that you're actually providing to a community that needs support, but also the bonding that you're giving businesses to their consumers and vice versa, consumers to businesses. So amazing what you're doing. Excited also to see what you can do in the future. Your plans are phenomenal. And I know by the time this goes out and so forth, you're going to have other ideas that will be added to your significant roadmap. But thanks for your time today. It's been great catching up.
Thanks a lot, Paul. You too. Thanks again.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of My Perfect Failure. We're almost looking to grow the show. So if you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button. And your feedback is really welcome. So we're keen to hear about things you like and equally the things you don't like. So you can find me at paul@myperfectfailure.com, or you can find me via the feedback page on the website. So take care for now. Bye.
Thanks for listening to My Perfect Failure podcast. Be sure to visit www.myperfectfailure.com to join the conversation. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. Look out for our next episode.